Make sure we're live. We are live. All right, welcome to Unethical Hoops, episode 5. Today we're going to be talking about Bam scoring 83. Because what's the point of having a show named Unethical Hoops if you're not going to be talking about one of the more unethical, let's just say, endings to a game ever? So there's a lot of angles and a lot of unethicalness involved in this. But let's lay out the quick story. So they played Washington Tuesday, I want to say, and they Washington sits Trae Young before the game because Miami had some guys out with injury, and Washington's obviously tanking right now because they want to keep their top 8 pick and they want to get a high draft pick as well. So they play trash, and then me and Amir as all of their players on this line. And Alex Starr. And they pull Alex Starr. Alex Starr plays like 20 minutes, has 28 points. So Bam goes into this game and goes right through anyone Washington can try to guard him whatsoever. Washington decides to start a scuffle, like start a little fight. And I also think that did contribute a little bit to both Spo and Bam being pissed off. So he just goes through anyone trying to guard him and goes off in the first quarter, also hitting his threes, scores 30 points in the first quarter, ending the first half with 43 points. And then he ends, after 3 quarters, he has 62 points. And then in the fourth quarter, he scores 21 points or 20 plus. I can't remember where it was, but I think it's around. He had 62 after 2, so I think it's 21. But the ending to the game is obviously one of the more funnier endings you'll see in any NBA game ever, because Washington are not trying to let him get to 83. So around when he scores 70, they start triple teaming him, fouling his teammates, and whatsoever. I also I'll also put a link because I found 2 videos. One where you can see every foul that got him to the line, and I'll also put one where you can see all the unethicalness in the last couple of minutes. So that'll be fun. I'll put it in the description in 2 seconds. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts, Amir?
First of all, seems the name of the show has been prophetic, because this is the most unethical probably it could get. But shout out to Bam. Congratulations to Bam. I wanted to start with that, because regardless of everything, first of all, he had a monster game, regardless of anything. And that is really the big story. He had a monster game. He broke he's second, but that's still a monumental game. That's the highest tape.
It's most instant version. We can call it a record.
It's the highest. Yeah, the highest taped game ever, like the high scoring taped game ever. Because Wilt's game is not on tape, so this is the highest scoring tape game ever, and that was Kobe's record. So it meant a lot because of who had it as well. And for Bam to break that record of all people, that caused controversy. You mentioned the circumstances of the game. That's another layer to it, but I will say this, and this is the first angle I wanted to discuss it from. The Wizards, yes, they're the worst team in the league, or arguably the worst team in the league, and he didn't need the 83, but at the same time, we've heard a lot of people talk about how most of the highest scoring games ever were not in close games, and they were against bad teams. In fact, the last one we've seen, I think, was Luka. It was
Luka. The Hawks defense was not good.
But it was a bit closer. The game itself was a bit closer.
It was like a 5-point game, if I'm not wrong. Kobe's the Raptors that Kobe played against were like a 29-win team. The Knicks that Will won a game against was like a 29-win team.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
You're not doing this against the 60 Celtics.
Yeah, but the reason I think that game is different isn't because of these layers. Because like you said, these layers are similar in most of these games. But I think we can all agree, for example, if I ask you, out of Kobe's 60-point games, which one is the worst?
His last game.
Okay, so if you ask 100 people, I think that will be the answer, right? Like mostly. Like 95 of 100 people would tell you that immediately, like you said right now. And yet, out of the 6 times he scored 60 or higher, that was probably the least unethical in terms of strength of opponent and how close the game was. Because that team was above 500 and the game ended with a game winner by him. And yet, we can all agree that it was his worst 60-point performance.
Yeah, I'm
That's
not gonna act
something
like
I
I
want.
watched every Kobe 60-point game, but that was definitely like that. He was getting some "this is your last game" shot chucking.
Exactly. That's what I'm
He was
talking about.
getting
Like, how ridiculously intentional it felt, how forced it felt. That's what makes anyone would say, like, okay, this was his worst game. I mean, his worst 60-point game.
but we
But
were all rooting for it. To be honest, I stayed up 3 a.m. in Denmark to watch that game. I went to school right after that game, and I was rooting for him to score. He started off bad. I think he missed his first shot, and then
I think his 5 first shots were like
yeah,
seven
he
first.
not
I think
good.
he missed his 7 first shots or something.
That is, it's either that or the game 7 in the same year of the Cavs Warriors. I would say is the best game I've ever watched. Just like my enjoyment of it. I don't think I've ever like enjoyed a basketball game as much as Kobe trying to go to 60. I was rooting so hard for it. It was fun.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun to watch. What I'm saying is, even though the circumstances of the game, how close it was, and the strength of opponent would put it higher than the others, we agree it was worse because we know how bad Kobe was that season and how it was forced to the point where you could feel like if anyone tried to get that kind of performance off. These are NBA players. Like they can do that if they force it that much. And that's what I think a lot of people felt with this Bam Adebayo game. It's like, yeah, he's good. He's an all-star. He's not a bad player by any means. But for a player averaging like 16 points
Yeah.
and shooting 4 free
I mean,
throw attempts a game,
he's better than 2016 Kobe Bryant. I hope
yeah,
that
as a player, of course. But I mean, we're talking about a guy averaging 16 points and he's shooting 4 free throw attempts a game. This guy shoots 43 free throws. And that's 10 times his average.
I put
Like
a link
that.
in the description, by the way, if someone want to watch all of the fouls to get them to the line. It's not like there's not bullshit calls. Like all of these are like at least close to correct calls. There's
Yeah,
no
yeah, he was legit fouled. I'm not saying these are bad calls,
no.
but the way he was fouled in itself felt like they like. I think Domo talked about this in Player Stories. Shout out to Player Stories. He said that the Wizards were trying so hard to make it look bad. It's like they knew it was going to happen, so they tried to make it look bad. So they just kept fouling him every time he touched the ball. I think that's what makes it look that bad.
Yes.
It's not that Bam wouldn't have gotten it if he didn't get fouled. It's that the way he kept getting fouled every time he touched the ball felt like they were giving him the Ben Wallace treatment or the Shaq treatment or whatever you want to
But
call it.
here's
And this,
the issue. The issue is there's no real NBA players on the Wizards, and Bam Adebayo is a really good athlete. So it's like if I'm just a better athlete than everyone I'm playing against, then okay, I can just dribble in a straight line, go past them, and either you have to foul me or I'd get a layup. If they didn't foul him, he would just gotten layups for 83 points. That would have looked even. That would have looked as. That would have looked funny as well. Like they've just not fouled him, he would have laid it up 40 times. You'd seen that incredible efficient game or something. I don't know.
yeah, yeah, like I said, if they didn't foul him at all, like I mean, they were fouling him on single coverage. Maybe if they doubled him, it would have been better than just fouling him. But that's not really the story of the game. That the thing is, I think that is what made the game look so bad. It's not just the intentional fouling at the end. or the intentional missing of free throws, which was ridiculous. But these things, it started very late. Like he already had 70, I think, by then. So even if he stopped,
They had 77 before they started doing nonsense.
yeah, like if he stopped at 77, I think people would still hate on that game.
Yes.
And that's why I mentioned the free throws. Because when you're a guy averaging 4 free throw attempts, or like 4.5 free throw attempts, and you get fouled 20 times in one game, this is not gonna look good. This is not a player getting hacked for being a bad free throw shooter. This is a guy getting fouled legitimately. So this is what made the game look so bad and so forced. Not just the fact that they were blowing them out, not just the fact that they were intentionally fouling in the end. All of these things are normal in these high scoring games, except for a few, like Luca's game. But mainly, like, I think that is the issue. I mean, Devin Booker did it on a loss, which was very
Yeah.
hated. I
I
remember at
mean,
the
Will
time.
Chamberlain 100 was also like but like even Wilt's 50-point per game season, he played every minute. What does that mean? He stayed in blowouts. Like Will Chamberlain blocked his teammates' shots so he could score, like for a season.
I
Like
mean,
that's a
48 minutes
whole
was
80
normal
game
then.
season where he did nonsense, and like stayed in there.
Hmm. Oh, oh, wait, he got disconnected or I got
I
disconnected?
got disconnected. Are you still there? We're still live. Okay. Okay. We need that. We could. All right. Yeah. What I was saying. Yeah. I'm still here. You there, Amir? This is great TV. I mean,
All right.
you still there. I
Now I
think I
think.
got disconnected. Are you good?
Oh, I thought you got disconnected, so I like restarted my connection. I mean, I thought I got disconnected. That's
No,
why I didn't.
I think it was
Yeah,
me. I think we're
yeah,
still on. So we're good.
yeah. We're on. I just I stopped because I thought it was me, but then I realized it was you when I restarted it. Anyway,
But
yeah,
like what I was saying about Will Chamberlain. Will Chamberlain did like not the intentional fouling every game. They did that in the 100-point game. Let's also be clear about that. Like his teammates intentionally fouled the Knicks so they could get more positions, so Will could get to 100. So like Will Chamberlain has been glazed for that 50-point season forever, and like he was doing nonsense like blocking his own teammate shots and stuff. That
yeah. I
was
mean, we've
skated over.
been hearing about it. I honestly like. I'm not a fan of Wilt at all. Like, once we get to episodes where we're talking about all-time lists, and people realize how low he is on my list, that's gonna be nasty. But this is a different story for a different time. Because he's probably not gonna even be in my top 20 by the time we do it. But anyway,
Shout out to Will.
like that's I mean, the 48 minutes. I think it was more common at the time, so I'm not gonna mention that. But I mean, 50 points was crazy. I mean, if you're averaging 50 points legitimately, you'll probably win every game because other players, when they score 50, it's usually too dominant of a performance that his team just wins. If you're scoring 50 every game and you're losing, that means you're not doing it in a natural way, because one player should not be that responsible for his team's offense on the regular, no matter how bad it is. Like, we've seen players play on terrible teams and they still stopped at a certain point. I mean, Kobe's 35-point game season, they were winning when he went above 40, but at the same time, if he just averaged 40 for the whole season, I think it would have been worse for the team.
So what is your take on the Bam thing? Because I feel like you were negative in the start on it of it. Are you still like, let's say, down on the performance or?
Uh, okay, so when it first happened, I was just taking it sarcastically. I think my first few replies were just laughing at it, especially at how the game went and just how like how it went. But at the same time, also like I like it when someone like that breaks a record because it kind of it's good for the memes and it's also good for the general like record culture. I'm not a fan of record culture in general. So when someone like that has the record, it's always going to be it's always going to fit my agenda. Let's just say that. So I didn't have a problem with it. I thought it's gonna be something like Scott Skiles holding the assist record. That's what I thought. The reason I started to get negative about it was when I watched whether it was PC or other people talking about it, and it felt like the message was, yeah, anyone can get that, and every high scoring game was like that, so every high scoring game means nothing. That's when I started feeling negative about it because if this game is going to be the game that makes every other 70 plus scoring game look like it was forced and it meant nothing and that anyone in the league could do it, then no, I'm not going to stand for that. Even if I'm not a record culture guy, like I'm not someone who feels like every record is in it is like essentially like the summary of this guy's career or how this guy played. Like I don't think Kobe's as good a scorer as he is because of the 81 points, but at the same time that doesn't mean his 81-point game was something anyone could have done. No, I do not stand for that. And that's why I was negative on it. But at the same time, I realized, okay, like the reason I became more positive about it later is because I think like while I was taking it about Kobe, at the same time, yes, Kobe haters were hating on it because of Kobe as well. And I think out of the two like squads of inner like Twitter soldiers in that fight, both of them are hating on Bam. Let's be real. Those who are using this as a way to belittle Kobe, and those who are using this as a way to rage about how Kobe's record was broken in this manner, both of them are taking the attention away from Bam. And that's why I came around and said, okay, like 2 days in, and no one is actually talking about Bam. Whether those who are defending it or those who are hating on it, no one's actually talking about Bam. People are just talking about how this is either
How it impacts Kobe's legacy.
yeah, exactly. Like some people are saying, oh, it doesn't affect Kobe because it was done badly, unethically, and the others are saying it affects Kobe because now it just exposes every ultra high scoring game. And I think those are just taking the attention away from what should be the story, which is Bam Adebayo like broke the all-time record for a tape game scoring. That's the story, and that should be the story.
I think I agree with a lot of the things you said. My take on it is one, we have been bitching and moaning about people not caring about the regular season being boring, and tanking. So here comes a guy who makes a random Tuesday night. What's the chill says on a Tuesday? Hey, a random Tuesday night, we get to see NBA history. People have used the clip of Vanessa, Kobe's dead widow, to crap on players for load managing, where she says, Kobe told me when I asked him, why do you always want to play every game? Oh, I want to play for the guy up in the stands that has used all of his money to get his kid to come see me. And it might be the only time they see me because this is the time I'm in Utah. What about that guy? That guy who bought the ticket and sit up in the mid row, it probably wasn't that expensive because they're playing the Wizards. But that guy who bought his kid there, this might be his kid's first basketball game. Do you think those fans would rather want to see, oh, Spo take Bam out in the third quarter and be, oh no, let's be ethical? Or do you think they wanted to see what they got? The 83 points. Every single fan in that arena wanted to see Bam break 81. They were all rooting for it. It got us all history in the middle of an NBA season. Yes, was there some nonsense in it, and were people trying to game it? Yes, but I'd also argue the Wizards were also trying to game it. Like if the Wizards were just playing normal defense like they've been the whole season, you would probably gotten 90 or something. Like, like he was going through everyone Washington sent him.
Yeah.
Admittedly, because all of the guys they send sucks because they're tanking. But that's also on them. We've been complaining about tanking for so long. Here they got embarrassed. Penn, okay, I'm gonna rant on Penn right now. Because Penn made this point a couple of weeks ago, and I think it was a decent point, that a way to combat tanking is if teams go out and utterly embarrass the tankers. Because you saw Washington start to fight. The hardest Washington has fought all season was the last 5 minutes of this game, trying to prevent Bam from getting 80. And they couldn't. They got embarrassed by Bam. And yes, is it maybe not always in the way you think they should embarrass them? Maybe. But this is even more embarrassing. We've been talking about how bad Washington is for the last 4 days. Everyone have noticed it because Bam did. If they'd blown them up by 50, no one, like everyone would just went on. Unless they obviously scored 200 points, then yeah, we would talk about that. But the thing is, we like these high numbers. And Bam put out 83. Everyone got put attention to, oh, Washington fucking stinks. Everyone was looking at it. The owner's embarrassed. Brian Keefe was embarrassed. Everyone got embarrassed. There's people like Penn was at Penn. I'm going to use Penn. Penn was asking for this, and then he had the nerve to say this will say disservice to the NBA that Bam got this. Dude, you were asking for them to get embarrassed just because it doesn't happen the way you like it to. This was even more embarrassing than if the Heat had just won 150 to 90. Like because everyone's talking about it, and everyone's going to be talking about this 2 years from now. And it got us great moments in the regular season. It gave the fan in the arena what they wanted. So what that it's Bam? The reason people don't like this is because it messes with their belief that only the best scorers of all time can get 83. You know what? If you put Washington out there and you're a great athlete, maybe okay, Bam can get 83. You know what? No, you know who's worse than Bam right now and probably around the level of a score? LeBron James. LeBron is 41 years old. If he'd scored 83, no one would have said anything. Everyone would have celebrated it. If he'd scored 83, it's because
I'd love for LeBron to get 83 against the Wizards.
If LeBron got 83 against the Wizards, I mean, you know that, first of all, the narrative that would have been pushed would have been insane. But no one would have made this, it's a disservice to the league or it's terrible. Obviously, the LeBron haters will make those points because they are haters. And the Glazers would have said this makes him better than MJ because MJ never got above 70. But like, if LeBron had done it, no one would have went, oh, it's a disservice to the league. And LeBron's a worse player than Bam right now. I hope we can all agree.
As a player in general. Yeah,
not a scorer, but like even
as a scorer,
At least Bam as a scorer, he has this maybe undeniable physique because he's such a great athlete, and LeBron isn't anymore because he's 41, which even that he's this good at 41 is insane. But my take is the thing with Bam is that it just messes with this belief that people have that only the elite players can score these high numbers, like the Malachi Flynn in a sense. Because Malachi Flynn is also like, oh shit, like a G League player can score 50 apparently, or 38-year Jamal Crawford can score 30. That's probably even wilder than this in a sense.
I mean, shout out to Al Horford. Anyway, I wanna say something here. This is probably the point I wanted to talk about most. The idea of who could score 80 or like who could score 50 or 60 or whatever. First of all, to just respond to your point before I get to this part of the conversation. I agree that this is the biggest, this is the best thing that has ever happened to tanking. for sure. Like I don't think anyone came close to this. This is anyone who hates tanking like I do. This is exactly what, and that was why my first reaction was positive because they embarrassed a team that was tanking so hard, and that is the most important thing that that my first initial reaction was. But I wanna like if we're talking about Pin, I will say something here. I think the take that I hate most since it happened, it was said by Pin and others. It's that he should have stopped at 81. I don't understand the idea
That's
behind this take. What? Why? Like, if
you
Kobe
think
was
okay.
alive, would anyone actually say this?
We're talking okay, again. Like, let me say this: we're talking about Kobe Bryant, whose dead widow at his Hall of Fame speech
Bro,
says,
she's alive. She's alive. Like,
"No, not his dead. Yeah, yeah, his widow,
she's
because he's
alive.
dead, obviously. But his widow at his Hall of Fame speech says he did this. He played every game he could because of the fan up there that paid to come in and see him. Do you think that fan wanted it Bam to stop 81?
Hell
No,
no.
he
Hell
wanted him
no.
to get the record. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, I mean,
So
Bam was
what?
asked. Bam was asked about it, and he had a very good reply. He said Kobe would tell me to do it again. I think that's what Kobe
Yes,
would say for sure.
Kobe.
I mean, that's what MJ
Kobe's
said to
last
Kobe.
tweet. His records are meant to be broken. I'm
Yeah,
gonna look
that's
it up.
what
I'm giving
MJ.
it a phone.
That's what MJ said to Kobe when Kobe asked him. His first reaction was, "Go get Carl." That it's a three-letter tweet, I think, or message. Go get Carl. Karl Malone, of course. I mean, Kobe got injured; he couldn't get Karl Malone, but that was MJ's reaction to Kobe passing him. Go get Carl. So these guys are like that. They wouldn't be like, "Oh, you should stop here." No, that's how they would respond. Yeah, the point now I want to get to is the part about who could score more. I think this is an era thing, and that's the part that we could disagree on. I think there are two different ways to answer the same question, which is which era is the most difficult to play in. And in that sense, I mean, of course, we're talking like meaningful eras. We're not talking about the 50s. But I think that question, what is the most difficult era to play in, can be answered in two different ways. One way would make this era the easiest, and the other one would make it the hardest. And there's even like a third one, and that will also make it the hardest. So the hardest is if your question means is this era the hardest to make the league in? And I think it is in terms of competitiveness outside of the league to get to the league, whether it's college basketball, European basketball, like it's almost like nearly impossible to make the league right now as a bad player. Like the amount of busts we've seen recently are very low, and actually most of them are not actually busts. Like they're still good NBA players, they're just not stars. But that's why I think that it's the hardest to make the league, the hardest era to make the league in, and it's also the hardest era to play defense in because of the rules. The rules are heavily favored and tailored to help offenses, and that's why it is the easiest to score in or to play offense in. If you're good enough to make it to the league and you're already in the league, this is the easiest era to play offense in because you're already good enough to make it to the league and you're good enough to be on the court. That means you're good enough to score like 50. That's what I wanted to say here, and that's why I think this performance is different from the. I think like outside of maybe the last 2 or 3 years
I think
because
I
that's
see what you mean. I think, yeah, I want to when I want to say because you're saying it's different, and I just want to like Devin Booker's and David Robinson's actually name we should talk about a little because his 70-point game is the last game of the season to win the scoring title over Shaq, who he had like a really petty beef with. They had like a
yeah,
super huge beef right before, so he really wanted to get it. So he was just
yeah,
force fed the entire game by his teammates. So that's a there is definitely other unethical games. I know you didn't say there was not not to say you didn't. You said that,
Yeah,
but
this one was closer to Kobe's
that was super
target game.
unethical. Will's 100 game, Booker 70. There's like, of course, there's people trying to game things all the time. But I want to say, like, I do think I agree with you. This is probably either the easiest era to hit a mark like this or the second one to like the 60s because the pace in the 60s is so high. So when the pace is so high, you just have more chances. And if you're Will Chamberlain that has so many advantages over people,
No, I'm
then
talking about like lower tier players because higher tier
yeah,
players
the
can do it
lower
in any
tier
year.
players, I can definitely get it. But also, like, I do think some of it in the 70s, like because of the pace, I do. There's also like some really sorry guy, Joe Fultz. Not to say he's sorry, but like
I mean, he wasn't he
he had like,
leading the league in scoring at some point.
but he had like he it's the highest true shot attempts game ever is this Bam game, then a Joe Fultz game, then the Will Chamberlain Will Chamberlain game. They're all around like 62. And then Will Chamberlain's 100 per game is 77 true shot attempts. He shot the ball or went to the free throw line 77 times in the game. But I do think that also like for a star because you can stay in the game, like you can overrule your coach so much more. But I do think this is also because teams are tanking. So if you play a really sorry team or a team that know they're going to beat you and don't care about you, like a Malachi Flynn game or whatever, then you can just go off. And you get these nonsense game where there's no real NBA players in it. If you're the one good guy, you can just
Yeah,
blow.
that's
Like,
why I didn't really. I mean, that's why I would exclude the 60s and 70s because the players of that tier at the time wouldn't be
oh no,
good
they
enough.
couldn't do this. Of course not.
They wouldn't be good enough because they were just like that's
You're
where the
sorry.
league kept improving. The league kept improving not on the top, but on the tiers below the top, like the two or three tiers outside of like the top 10 players. That's where the league keeps getting better and better. And right now it's at its best. You have like 100 players who are you could put in the fringe all-star tier. Like that's why this version of the league is the hardest to make the league in because there are so many players that can actually play basketball at a high enough level if they were given enough touches.
This
And that's
this is
why
the
I'm
most
saying that
talented the league has ever been. Like after the top 10 guys, like
and
10
that's
to
why the
one.
Wizards had absolutely zero excuse. Like you had all of this pool
Try
of
to win.
talent, and this is your squad, bro.
They're not trying to win. That's the problem. But like, it's also
People
such a
acquire
unique.
talent just to develop it, though. Like there's a lot of young talent out there. They're not even trying to
They
develop young
they,
talent.
they pulled Alex Sauer after 20 minutes. He wasn't
That's
allowed
the
to play
issue.
more than 20 minutes. And if he played 40 minutes, he probably could have gotten 60 because he had like 28 points in 20 minutes.
Yeah,
So like if they had let him play, he could have probably gotten 50. We got a
like
50 point game from
there
Alex
was
Sauer.
there was a time tanking teams would tank by giving the ball to their young players, not by pulling them out. This is not just tanking. This is a whole another level of tanking, which is probably the most unethical thing about this game. Like
Is how sorry the Wizards were. I agree
you're
100%.
tanking so hard to the point you're not even trying to develop your young players. Really? Like you'd lose anyway with or without Sar. This is like there's no excuse to pull him out or to not play like quality young players who could potentially be something in the future. This is not like for a team to be this bad roster wise. That to me is like when I look at the EuroLeague, for example, and I'm not really watching. I haven't been watching it for years, but when I watch a random EuroLeague game, these teams play way better than the Wizards right now. And that should not be the case. Like, yeah, one player or two players wanting to be stars there as opposed to role players in the NBA, sure. But the whole team, no way. And that's why I think that this is an issue that needs to be handled. The league has, like, basketball worldwide has enough talent for the NBA to not have any bad players. And that's not the case yet because some teams, their way of tanking is not to have the worst roster in the league, is to have a roster so bad, so far removed from the league that even if they tried to win, they would. And that's I think that's an issue because like I said, the talent pool is too wide to have this bad of a team. So yeah, I mean, we talked about the how bad the
Yeah, that's the
sorry,
most difficult part of this is the Wizards. It's not Bam. Like, yeah, okay, the last 4 minutes or so was nonsense. Like, let's be honest. That's also because the Wizards were doing nonsense. Like, they were triple teaming him and would have, like, if he wanted to, he would have passed the ball for 10 dunks or something. Like, if the Wizards had also played normal basketball, they were also trying to foul the non-Bam players. Like it was going back and forth. But also, here's my other thing. In this world of tanking in regular season, like in the dark days of March, like at some point you also have to just find joy in nonsense and humor in it. You have to like not everything have to be ethical good basketball. Sometimes a double tank game is just as entertaining as a playoff game. Like just watching all of how terrible the players are and how the coaches like call plays, like just enjoy it. Sometimes you just gotta have fun and not critique everything. This is actually a point I need to make, and we can move on from. I don't know how much more we need to talk about him, but what Damien said is probably the most hit-on thing. So many people don't like basketball or the NBA. What they like to do is critique things. So they enjoy the NBA to go on and hate on people. They do this because they want to hate or push agendas for someone. It's not because they like watching basketball and they like being entertained by it. It's because they actually want to go on here and hate on, I don't know, Shea for being a foul player. They want to have something to be negative about, or Luka for being bad at defense, or Jokic to be bad. And they watch it through such a negative lens. And then, of course, there's so many things about this game that are not negative. Of course, there was a suck. The Miami Heat maybe had Bam in longer than they maybe should have, but all the fans in the building wanted Bam to go chase that. It would have been against Kobe's wishes and Kobe's widow's words in his Hall of Fame speech to pull Bam from that game. I don't want to hear Kobe fans bring this up. Like they have been playing that clip to hate on load management for 4 years or something. He did that for the fans.
I agree that like from Bam's perspective, I don't understand why people are hating on it. Like if you have a record in sight, go ahead and get it. Like getting a record is not there's nothing wrong with staying long enough to get a record. I think that's not really that's like of all the bad things or the unethical things in this game, this wouldn't make it to the top 10. Let's be real. Bam chasing the record is the least unethical thing about this game.
Like, here's the thing. Like, this might help Bam make the NBA Hall of Fame. This might be the difference. And I'm not saying it should be. I don't know if he should make the Hall of Fame. But I'm just saying, like, some voters definitely, like, 83 points. That's a good thing. Like, even if he doesn't make it first ballot, he makes it, like, as a senior vote getter, like in the later parts. Like someone is going to look at that and be like, maybe he has the second highest scoring game ever at that point. If he still has
wait. You actually think by the time Bam retires, and even 3 years after he retires, they would still be the record?
And like some Hall of Fame voters will look at that. And if he hadn't that, they wouldn't want to vote him for the Hall of Fame. But Bam's also a good player. Like he's one of the best defense. He might be the best switch defender ever. If not, like that's like Draymond, Rodman. But he's definitely one of the best switch bigs ever.
He's the second best.
Trae Young on the playoff series.
He's the second best Draymond Green of all time. That's for sure. Yeah, but because that's such a unique way to anchor a defense. I think only these two tried it, and only these two succeeded with it.
Imagine this is the difference between him not making the Hall of Fame and making the Hall of Fame. That achievement is, you can't achieve anything more in sports than making the NBA or NFL Hall of Fame. Like it is one of the biggest accomplishments ever. Like a gold jacket, you're in the room with Michael Jordan at that time, LeBron James, Will Chamberlain will be beside you. you will be under Wilt and over Kobe Bryant for highest scoring games ever. Do you know, like, people saying he shouldn't have gone for this? Like, I am sorry.
That's
As
so
an
stupid.
athlete, as a competitor,
And you know what? You know what's the worst part of this? It's a goddamn lie. No one in his position wouldn't have gone for it. No one.
of course not.
Anyone who's criticizing him for it, I guarantee you, if they're in his position, they would go for it too.
Okay,
That's a human thing. That's one of the most human things to do. If he actually walked out at
okay,
77, let's say, I
let's just
would feel like it is so forced as a sign of virtue signaling that I would disrespect him for it.
how yeah, for sure. How
That
many
would be
people
way too woke, like way too woke
when
if
you
he
play
walked out.
2K, when you play 2K, you're at 98, and you know, okay, we've already won. I could sub myself out. No one here, you're playing 2K. None of you here have ever subbed yourself out because, oh, we are winning the game. It's unethical to stay in. You want to see that marker hit 3 digits and go above Wills. And that's playing 2K. Bam is fucking. He's in the NBA and had the second highest scoring game ever. Yes, it was not entirely ethical. I want to say this quick, and I think we can move on off from this. I want to say, in terms of effort, of the best high scoring game ever, if I have to say, it is either Kobe's 81 or it's Lucas 73. Like, those are probably the two best ever. I'm not saying I want to end on this. I'm not saying this makes Bam a better basketball player than he was Monday. Like, because it doesn't. Like, the only thing it maybe does is, like, the first quarter might make him better. Like, in my eyes, a better basketball player. Because he legitimately got, like, kind of 30 points. He showed if he can just go through guys, he can really be an offensive guy. Maybe this gives him some added confidence. Maybe we see a little more from him. And hopefully that helps. But, like, this is not something I'll put into arguments into, oh, this is why Bam is now a top 10 player. It shouldn't be. And people have tried to get at me because I'm a negative Russell Westbrook and Will Chamberlain guy. And they've been like, oh, if you like this Bam game, then you also need to like Will Chamberlain's 50-point season or Russell Westbrook's triple-double season. And what I've said is, I am not using this Bam game to saying he's a better basketball player. I am using this. This is a great moment in the regular season. It's historic for him. It's a really good thing for him to have. When I look at Russell Westbrook, the basketball player, yes, I was watching during the triple-double season. I was rooting for him to get it. I also won money off a bet because he won MVP. So shout out to that. But like, I was rooting for it, but I was not saying he's a better basketball player because he averaged double digits in rebounds and assists. Of course not. That doesn't make him a better basketball player. But this is also a culture of negativity I'm talking about. Just because I am negative about Russell Westbrook because I think people overhype him as a basketball player doesn't mean I then also have to be negative about Bam setting a record in an unethical way. Because people are not using it in that way. Just because I'm negative about one thing and you think these things are similar doesn't mean I have to be negative about this other thing because they're not connected in that way. I don't think this makes Bam a better basketball player. I don't think 2017 made Russell Westbrook a better basketball player because he averaged a triple-double. What I do think is it was an awesome moment. It was awesome to root for Russell Westbrook averaging a triple. It was amazing to see he could get it. It was awesome to root for Bam's 83. That's all I gotta say. I think we can move on. We had some storylines from the week. You wanted to talk about Luka?
Yeah, but before we move on, I just gotta say that I think the point was valid. Though. Like the point that if you're not like you shouldn't be mad at people hating on it while you're hating on Russell Westbrook. I think that is a valid point in a way because Russell Westbrook's stat betting wasn't as bad as that game at all.
Oh
Like
no.
he was he was still like one of the best. He's like he was averaging 2 offensive rebounds a game. And it's very common for players averaging 2 offensive rebounds a game to average double-digit rebounds. So yes, maybe he got like 1 or 2 extra rebounds every game, but that's not as bad as
Yeah.
that game.
My
You know, like
my point was more I am not using the 83-point performance by Bam to say he's better
Yeah,
at
but no
basketball.
one is. Like, no one said
No, no, but
this is making Bam a better player.
people have been using Russell Westbrook averaging a triple double to tell me he's a better basketball player than X, Y, and Z. I don't know, Chris Paul. People have been using the triple double season to say he's a better basketball player than Chris Paul because he averaged a triple double.
That's a different story, but I'm saying the perception of the game because
what I'm trying to get across is that's why I'm negative towards. I maybe sound negative towards the triple double season. I am not negative in like it was an awesome moment. I am saying it right now. I was rooting for it in 2017. I am positive in that sense. I am negative towards both things in the sense of it doesn't make them a better basketball player. That's my point. So there's nuance and gray area to all things. Just because I sound negative about some things doesn't mean I necessarily am negative about the thing in every single aspect. Just because I'm positive about Bam's 83 points because it was a good regular season moment that gave us something to talk about.
You also said Draymond is better than Russ, but that's a different. I
also think Draymond is better than Bam. I think that's
more. That's obvious, but Russell Westbrook is another tier of player. But we'll get to that at some point.
At some point, we'll get to that. You understand that. That's because I'm not using 83 points to say Bam's a better basketball player. But that's also like the Draymond thing. I also think Draymond Green is. That's not good.
You're just high on. It's not low on Russ. It's high on Draymond. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
We can talk about Luka.
We can talk about Luka. What do you have to say about Luka?
Yeah, I want to say this because Luka this season is probably the most underrated version of him. Can we agree on that?
I agree.
So he's having his best, arguably, maybe not even arguably. I think this is his best scoring season statistically.
Yeah.
And
it's in the toilet. It's actually crazy.
Yeah, and he's playing for the Lakers, and this is why I was like when we had. I don't know if was it you or was it?
It was me. It was me.
Yeah, because that Lakers PR point was so bad. This is one debate. I know for a fact if I had a rebuttal round, I would have won it so easily. Lakers PR has been negative since I was born. Let's be real here. Like Shaq, stayed in the Lakers for 8 years, the best 8 years of his career, and he only had one MVP. Kobe, one of the most popular players of all time, played for the Lakers for 20 years. He almost retired with 0 MVP. He could have lost that. Like the one he won was the closest to being lost in that decade, probably. And you talk about like Anthony Davis in 2020 and in 2023, he lost the Defensive Player of the Year, and the one in 2023 specifically, that was egregious in my mind because I don't know if he even finished second. You can look it up. He lost it to Jaren Jackson Jr. And at some point, you'll have to explain to your children that Jaren Jackson Jr. actually beat Anthony Davis at his peak.
In 22-23, Anthony Davis also only played 56 games.
Yeah, but I mean, Jaren Jackson Jr. played like 61 games or something. Like he wouldn't qualify for it if it happened like after the 65 game rule either. And by the way, like Anthony Davis lost one in which he played way more games than Rudy Gobert. I think it was 2018 or 2017. I don't remember. One of those two. He played like 70-something games, and Rudy played less than 60 games. Still won it.
Okay, in all fairness, because of that point, I probably should have lost that debate because the Lakers PR is in the toilet, and I am not. I take my wins when I get them. So let's not be. I would have made in retrospect, I probably should have just made the Shea point I wanted to make. I just didn't.
No, that's fine. It's not about you. I'm just talking about Lakers PR because it's not just AD. It's not just AD or Kobe or Shaq. Even Gasol. He was one of the best players in the league, and he had the worst PR I've ever seen. I don't know. I think
Jaren Jackson did average 3 blocks per game. To be fair, he had a really good. rim
he had
protections.
a good season, but not as good as AD. Like this, like if you
Maybe my
remember,
coach should have won it. Let's not beat around the
there was
bush. He should have
Pau
won it in
Gasol.
straight two if he didn't get hurt. He was really
Pau Gasol is probably the most affected by this at the time, at least, because at least he eventually got good PR after he retired. But when he was playing for the Lakers, I hated I was a Lakers fan at the time, and I hated the fan base because of him. They wanted to trade him for anyone, literally anyone. If there was a trade on the table for like Aaron Aflalo, they would probably say Aaron Aflalo is a better player. And shout out to Aaron Aflalo, he's good, but
We got
listen,
Intel in the building. And so
yeah.
we're just about to talk about Luca and his PR, but do you have anything on the band thing you want to get off your chest? I did promise people to do that.
Okay. First off, I appreciate y'all for letting me come up. Yeah, I think the main problem I have with the Bam conversation is it's the only time in NBA history we've ever cared about second place. People don't care about second place. Nobody knows. I'm not gonna say nobody, but most people don't know who's the second best rebounder in a game. No, most people don't know who's number 2 in assist leaders behind Scott Skiles. Most people don't know these things. People don't know the all-time numbers, the people who's averaged the most blocks per game, rebounds per game, assists per game. Those numbers sometimes will throw you off. I believe the best free throw shooter percentage was, I forgot who it was, but I remember when I first came up.
Steve Nash.
Steve Nash. Yeah. Who was it before Steve Nash?
Was it Jose Calderon?
Yeah, that's what it was. Jose Calderon. I remember when he used to be the leader, technically, at some point in time. It's just like a lot of us don't focus on second place. I don't know why it became, well, I know why it became a big deal. It's about Kobe. People don't want to say it's about Kobe. So,
but I also want to say, like, it's also the 100-point game is so unattainable that, and 81 was unattainable. It's a crazy thing, but like, it's because 100 seems so out there, and it's also a long time ago, so it's before the merger. The thing I compare it to is the NFL passing yards leader. The NFL record holder in passing yards in the game is Norman Brooklyn. Do any of you have any idea who number 2 is?
I don't know anything about football.
It's Matt Sharp.
Matt Sharp. Wow.
Matt Sharp. He got it in the overtime game. Like Andre Johnson had like 230 yards. No one, like Norman Brooklyn did that in like the 50s or something, maybe the 30s. I can't even remember.
Yeah.
But like Matt Sharp is essentially the highest passing yard game since the Super Bowl era, which is where a lot of NFL history is centered around. But no one talks about that record. What people talk about is like the Calvin Johnson yards in the season record. They talk about the Adrian Peterson because it happened not that long ago when he got 296 yards a game rushing. But like Bam, because Bam is like he's probably better than Matt Sharp was as a quarterback, but like Matt Sharp was like maybe in a Bam tier. That's not too far apart. And it's a lot of comparable because they're now second all time too. A game that happened before like we start counting.
Do you remember who had the 3-pointers in one game record before Steph broke it?
Marshall, right?
Yeah, Doniel Marshall. And shout out to him. He was a stretch big. Like, that was apparently unheard of, but I mean, he was shooting threes. And it was like, I mean, Kobe was also tied, but I think Marshall got it first, if I remember. So that was another record that no one cared. I think in general, even if whether it's first or second place, if you're someone that no one talks about much, they will look at the most like polarizing player in that.
No one cares about Scott Skiles either. No one cares about Scott Skiles having his record.
Yeah, that's why. Like, even though he's number 1, but no one cares. If someone had 28, and that player is like Magic Johnson, someone else gets 29, they'll be talked about. But Scott Skiles, no one cares. Like, and I have no idea how this record stands until this day. By the way, I always thought that this was an easier record to break, but for some reason it hasn't been broken.
I thought Russell Westbrook would have done it. I would have thought Rondo would have done it.
Yeah, Chris Paul too. Like, these guys were having 20 assist games, and they never actually win for it. Sometimes they get like 10 assists in the first quarter, and they didn't go for it.
record also happened when they're doing nonsense with the assist counting. I think it was Norman Van X, what's his name? Nick Van Exel from the Lakers that had like a 23 assist game because the road commentator suddenly decided, okay, I want to give a 6 to Norman Exel today, Nick Van Exel. So he got 23 assists because assist is obviously a very what's it called? It's very subjective stats.
Bit of a subjective stat, yeah.
It's not just putting the ball in the basket. It's that your teammate make the shot quick enough. So,
but I mean, it being subjective also works today. I think some players get more assists today than others.
It was horrendous.
Like even right now, some players get more assists than others just by reputation. Like if a point guard gives the ball to an ISO player and he drives to the basket and scores, this is more likely to be an assist even today than if like the center did it.
Maybe
like that same play. I think like I've seen it. I've tried to do it before. Like I've seen how sometimes the assist doesn't count unless it was a high assist player who's done it.
The stat keeping is definitely. Yeah. I think the stat keeping is better now than it was back then. But like the stat keeping is more streamlined now. They're actually checking.
But there's rewinding. There's rewinding now. They can revise it and correct it right away. Back then they just had to keep doing it. Like they were doing it live without like a video to rewind the tape.
Mm-hmm. So Intel, do you have anything more on this BAM game, or we were about to move on to Luca?
Okay.
You can talk about anything. You can talk about anything else if you want.
Okay.
If you have a take, you want to come up. What do you got?
Oh, y'all know I love a good hot take. I love.
Come on with it.
Do I have one? Do I have one at this moment? Oh, I do have one actually. And I'm not sure how y'all feel about this player, so y'all might hate me for this. I don't have KD as a top 20 player all time.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. Let's hear it.
I don't have KD top 20. I know
Let's hear
most people I hear talk about it, they have KD. I've heard as high as top 10. I've heard as low as maybe 13, 14. I just heard yesterday. Me personally, I don't want to say I ring text people, but how you get it does matter to me. And I do think a lot of KD's legacy has been pushed on the fact that he went to a built super team. For me personally, KD has it from every other standpoint. Yes, he's one of the most efficient scorers we've ever seen. He has the longevity. You know, people love their longevity. I'm not saying he doesn't have these things. To me personally, he's never hit some of the peaks I would have liked to seen as a leader. And that matters to me when I'm ranking a player all time. When I think of somebody as one of the greatest players of all time, greatness for me does include everything. I'm a big person with play style. Play style matters a lot for how I rank players. In my all-time list, I would say I don't go off of this one metric, but play style matters to me. KD's playing style to me has never truly been a winning playing style for me personally. The reason I say that is because we all know KD can be an elite scorer. We know one of the biggest knocks on KD as a scorer is that he's not aggressive enough at times. At times when you really think about it, he's the player, which isn't bad. As a teammate, I'm sure a lot of teammates would love to have KD because he's not going to hog all the shots. But we all know sometimes you need a player to be on your team and give you a Kobe or Jordan-esque type of mindset where they're like, teammates for what? I got it. I'm going to shoot the ball. I'm a scorer. I know I'm a scorer. Sometimes KD to me plays like he's not as good of a scorer as he actually is. And I think that he personally thinks in his head about his efficiency when he goes to score. And I think that holds him back from being a level of scorer that he could be. And that then in turns holds back his teams from getting to the levels that they're trying to get to. I believe that's the reason why he hasn't won on Brooklyn. I believe that's the reason why he hasn't won on the Rockets yet. Granted, we still gotta wait. We gotta let this year come out. If he gets them to the conference championship, I might give him a little bit more grace, but I don't see that happening. Outside of the Thunder, to me, when he played on the Thunder, that was his best chance of showing it to me. I feel like he gets way too much credit for why he played on the Warriors, and not enough negativity for the other situations he's been in. Whereas his teammate Russell Westbrook, we all know his career got tanked just for playing on the Lakers. We all know
that's another Lakers PR guy.
That's a real true. We all know that's a true fact. How people view
we were
Russell
just talking about Lakers PR.
Right. That Lakers PR is crazy. You see, they're doing it to Luka as we speak right now. They're rewriting his history as we speak. That's a real thing. You go to the Lakers, you don't have what they consider to be Kobe, Shaquille O'Neal, Magic Johnson. They feel like you're not playing to one of those levels. Kareem. They feel like you're not playing to all-time great that wins a championship every year levels. They start to push it out to the media in a way where somehow people who love the Lakers, their voices get heard more. So because of things like that, Russell Westbrook's career has been pushed back some, to the point where I would go as far as to tell y'all, I don't have KD ranked that much higher than Russell Westbrook. I have him maybe.
No, let me just ask though, because even though I agree with a lot of what you said, especially the scoring part, I think he doesn't impact the game as a scorer as much as he should. But I still don't understand how you have 20 names. Like, I have him at like 15, and I still feel it's too low. Like, you have him at 20, or lower than 20. I need to hear the names, bro. Like, what names do you think would be crazy? Let's go from, because this is definitely a clip. So this is our first clip.
Don't even.
This is our first clip. So we need to hear some names. Names.
If you just stop me when there's a name you don't think KD's better than, I'm just gonna go off Chill's list because I remember it because
okay.
James, Jordan, Jabbar, Chamberlain, Russell, Magic, Bird, Duncan, Olajuwon, Diesel, Kobe, Curry, Dr. J, KG, Moses Malone, Karl Malone.
I got him over Karl.
You got him over Karl? Okay. Shay's the name. He's not on Chill. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Wait, you remember Chill's list to the 20th name?
15. I think I stopped after 12 because the first 12, Kobe's 11. And I know Curry's right behind Steph. And the top 10 is the most memorable. I know that better than my own name.
But I will have to. Most of us, let's be honest, most of us don't even think of a list past top 10. Bulletproof, we talked about this in the chat one time. I had to revise my top 10. So I revised it a lot because I'll be honest with y'all, sometimes I forget a name. And then I'll go back and think about like, oh, how did I forget X, Y, and Z? Three names that I have over him that y'all might think are controversial. I have D Wade, I have Giannis, and I have Jokic. I have all three of them over KD. I think all of them have showed better abilities to be a leader to me.
So we have like 18. What about Dirk? We have Dirk over him.
I have Dirk over him too.
Oh my god.
What about David Robinson? He would be a name as well. Jerry West, obviously. I forgot about Jerry West.
Dang, I don't like to old man tax people for real, but oh my gosh, I kind of want to do it a little bit just for him. But I do have Jerry West definitely. Jerry West is shown to be a way better winner.
Jerry West you could argue Jerry West is a better scorer than KD, and that's not because KD's a bad scorer. That's because Jerry West might be like the best playoff scorer.
He's very underrated. We can all be honest about that. Jerry West is extremely underrated as a player.
Wait. Let me ask you a name that would piss off Yelmar. Isaiah Thomas.
I got KD over Isaiah Thomas.
Okay, good.
I wanted this one so bad, but unfortunately,
yes,
that's not gonna work for today.
I know you're not gonna.
Hey, listen, I know I'm talking about winning. Like I said, that's not my only thing. But I'll be honest, there are some people that have won that. Come on, KD guy that won. I'd rather take the guy that didn't win. I don't know. I'm not saying KD didn't win, but I'm talking about as a true number one.
I will say Also, I'll wrap in Ron's take. If you remember, he said there's like 10 players in the past 2000s better than KD, and people was up in arms. I think that's more of a common take than you would think it is.
Yeah.
Thinking Basketball did a list of their top 25 picks since 2000, and KD was number 10. So it's not like I think it's less insane. There's more people that agree with you than you might think.
I also think that some aspects of KD's career are kind of overrated, and I think when we get to his career summary video, I will look like a hater for it because even his longevity, I think, is overrated.
Yeah,
And this might sound crazy, but yeah, he's been in the league for such a long time, and he hasn't been bad. But he missed years, and even the years he played, he missed a lot of games in some years. So he probably has only 9, like of his 18 years, he has like 9 seasons of 65 plus games that were actually good years.
Yeah.
I'll actually try to challenge a name, and that's Giannis. Because you have Giannis over him, and
yes, I do.
You say KD didn't really win outside Golden State, but I would argue like the only reason Giannis has a ring is because both KD's toe was 1 inch on a line, and both his teammates getting hurt, and then Giannis obviously also got hurt in the conference finals, but like everyone was hurt in 21. I do think that 21 ring from Giannis deserves a major asterisk. It's not like
I'm not mad at
the finals was amazing. Don't get me wrong. He was playing Phoenix. Like, we can also be real. They had no one that could guard him. They were trying to do it with DeAndre Ayton, and that did not work, obviously. And like so many teams were like injured. Like the Sixers choked against Atlanta, was also like semi-injured. Brooklyn, obviously, I think a lot of people think they win the championship if just one of Kyrie and Harden don't get hurt,
right?
Let alone both. The Clippers in the West, obviously, the Lakers. I have a stat that everyone, either the best player or the second and third best player on every conference semifinals teams, so 8 teams, missed at least one game in the playoffs. It's like either the best player or the 2 and 3. Arguably.
No, and you're right. You're right. I will say, when people say Giannis's ring is a little fraudulent, I do want people to remember, out of all the teams that you just brought where their star player or second best player got injured, Giannis actually was the star player on his team.
Oh, yeah, he got hurt as well, obviously.
Like, we have to remember, he came back from an injury. Let's be honest. I didn't even think he was going to play after that. His leg almost bent the other way. I was surprised he even came back to play. So I thought to me, it was just amazing. He came back and played at a level. Let's be honest. We've never seen him shoot like that from the free throw line since that day. Since that day that he played in that finals. That's the best free throw performance he's ever did. Him doing that off of the injury he came back from is what made it more amazing to me. And I do agree with you from the standpoint of the Nets probably do come out the East. I'm not going to sit here and act stupid. I do think they come out the East like more and more that I was watching the series.
And KD was amazing.
Yeah, he was amazing. I don't take that series away from him. I'm not one of them people that just act like he just played bad. He played honestly as good as he was ever going to play in that series. He had too much to do. He had way too much on his plate. That was the one time to me as a scorer that it's like he just put the whole team on his back. Like, okay, I'm trying to win. Y'all gonna follow me on the. I wish he would do it more on the Rockets. Sometimes
if he played like that, even with the Thunder, if he played like that in 2016, I think they go past the Warriors.
I agree, and I know people don't like to believe it. We know Chilltown is such a LeBron guy that I don't even think Chill would admit it. That Thunder team would have beat that Cavs team. That Thunder team would have beat that Cavs team.
I don't know about that.
I believe that too.
Maybe. I want to say though, Giannis, Giannis's point, to the point about Giannis, I think the reason I don't tax that ring that much, even though it is one of the most taxable ever due to injuries, is because Giannis or his second best player got injured every single other year.
Yeah.
That was the only time the Bucks went to the playoffs healthy. So you can't really tax him without taxing everyone else's rings for not going against a healthy Bucks because they're a championship team. So this is a championship. This is a team built to win a championship. They won a championship, and every single year since, either Giannis gets injured or his second best player gets injured. So if we're going to tax his ring for the other teams, then why shouldn't we tax the other teams for not playing him and a healthy team behind his back?
It was more like it was so extreme that if luck just goes a little bit different, then it's KD standing there with his third championship and one outside of Golden State.
Right.
Like that was more my point. Like we could have very easily, like if Giannis don't step under Kyrie, not that it was dirty, I'm not saying that, but like if luck was a little bit different, then KD has 3 championships. Like that is like him not winning the championship doesn't mean he's a worse player on anything. That is a lot. That one was a lot of luck. He played
2021 for sure. I give you that.
He played all 48 minutes was the Bucks in game 5 and all 53 minutes in game 7.
Yeah. I said he put it all on the line. I respect that game. I respect that whole series out of him. Like that run watching some of your best players, let's be honest. That Nets team past Kyrie, James Harden, and KD, it gets very shaky after that. Like I understand you have players like I believe Paul Pierce was on that team too, right?
No.
Paul Pierce, bro.
He was already. I think he was already in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, no. I remember, or was it they were going to sign him? I remember they went on this David West. That's what I'm thinking about. No, they signed David West. I remember they were picking up a whole bunch of old heads that we know to have been great years ago, and they just thought we just get all these players that used to be great. We're just gonna be this great team. That's my counter to.
Shumpert was on that team.
Yeah.
Who?
Iman Shumpert and Joe Harris.
Yeah. Oh man,
Joe Harris playing great before that series. Yeah, I mean, it was shooting the lights out, and then he forgot how to shoot. He forgot how to shoot suddenly.
Mike James was on that team. I forgot.
Remember
Mike James?
Yes, y'all remember they were hyping up Mike James like he was about to be the next guy. I remember that. It was like, oh, I started seeing Mike James highlights that summer. It was like Mike James is really one of those ones. He was really out of the league.
Which Mike James are we talking about? The
EuroLeague guy.
The EuroLeague guy. They were talking about how tough he was.
Because there are 2 Mike James. There is one that was in the 2000s.
Yeah,
he was the second best player.
I don't want to make it a skin tone thing, but we're talking about the white Mike James. Yeah.
I forgot he existed, to be honest.
The other Mike James, he played for the Raptors in that Kobe 81 game.
Yeah, and he scored like 5 straight threes, by the way. Shout out to him. He was the second best player on the court that game. So.
Man, you got to respect those niche hoopers, man. I love
he's famous for being like a one-season wonder in 06. He had a great season. And then I think he was signed to a large contract and he didn't do anything. So shout out to we should do an episode on one season.
I was just gonna say that. I was say that would be a great tier list. Best one season wonders of all time. This top.
Shout out Griffiths Vasquez, man.
Jeremy Lin, obviously the Lin Sanity run.
Griffiths Vasquez was a guy I believed in.
Hopefully T-Mac low-key, like
with Derrick Rose
high level of that, but like
not T-Mac, bro.
Would y'all consider Derrick Rose in that conversation?
No, he played like 2 great
pretty
seasons.
Good the year towards ACL though.
I'm about to say the injury happened not that long after he won MVP.
Yeah, it happened the next year.
Yeah, he played like 1 full season after it. So
you got
and also the season before his MVP was also great. Like when we say one season wonders, I'm talking about players who just disappeared after 1 great season. Like, I mean, Griffiths Vasquez almost
knocked the random 50-point game. Mm-hmm. He had his Jamal Crawford, Malachi Flynn 50-point game for the Timberwolves.
He did on the
Corey Brewer. I watched the Corey Brewer one live.
Corey Brewer is the name.
The one game wonders could also be hilarious. Obviously,
that would be
on offense. Had his 1 game wonder in Game 7. So shout out to
which one?
We have to put
Draymond's Game 7 was a 1 game wonder in offense.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's Draymond. 1 of 1. That's a 1 of 1.
1 of 1.
I was a super Draymond guy back then, even while he was kicking people.
Kobe making the assist on the game winner that gave him his 5th ring, a pass he never made in his life. He never made a game-winning pass in his life, and he did it to win a championship. That was a moment too.
The same
Uh,
pass that he made there is the same pass they criticized LeBron for doing his whole career. That's what makes it funny.
So I
So
mean, to be fair, LeBron does it when he's down one. That's irritating, to be honest. If you're down two or like game tied, sure, but like down one is always a bad play in my opinion.
I actually have a teaser for something because I have a teaser here because I want us to do the most overrated players at some point. And there's one player I was kind of considering. Like
Before you make the teaser, let's just say it now that next week is off. I'm not going to be here next week.
Right. Next
Yeah,
week we're not
so-
doing it. But
Yeah.
there was a player I thought had played his way off this list. And then I saw the overrating just move with his improvement. And it was Jaylen Brown. Because the Jaylen Brown this week I've heard was like Stephen A. Smith was like, "Oh, he's neck and neck with Shea in MVP." I had people on like
Neck
in
and
my
neck.
Facebook groups. Yeah, I had people in Facebook groups say he's over Shea, over Cade, and over Wemby for MVP. And I am like, what are you doing? This is like people hate on analytics for not having a context or anything, but
Yeah.
the one true analytic of points per game and how many wins your team has with all-star teammates. That is the one true analytic with no context. People will just throw out, "Oh, he's at 50 point, yeah, 30 point, he averaged 30 point per game," and the Celtics has this. It's the number 2 seed in the East. And you see, his second best player is Derek White, who is amazing, by the way. Just by the way,
Right.
Is it as bad as you saying Derek White is better than him though?
Oh, this year Derek White is better than previous years. Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown.
But like, what do we like? Jaylen Brown might not even be a top 10 player.
Oh
Shea
my
is
god!
the best player in the league. Like,
No, I mean, I get
like-
No, MVP discussion is not who's better. It's like who's doing more of like the heavy lifting. So he is doing some heavy lifting as a scorer.
Yeah. I mean,
So I
MVP is a situational thing. It's a we know it's a narrative based thing. I do agree that has nothing to do with who the actual top 10 best players are, because I mean we have to talk about the people that literally can't be in a running for MVP. Literally, Jokic might not make. If he gets any type of injury again, small injury, take him out for a week, he's off. He can't even be in the run.
Wemby too. Like there are like 3 players tiptoeing in that line.
There's also people that had advanced arguments towards me that Jaylen Brown's a better player than Shea. Like there's people on Players' Choice agreeing with this. They're neck and neck for MVP because people think he's carrying the Boston Celtics. And like,
you know who's neck and neck with Shea, but no one wants to say it? Luka. Like, come on now.
No.
If Luka's not neck and neck this year, then he's never been neck and neck with anyone, and he'll never win the MVP.
But like he's also playing like this is also one of the best guards like seasons of all time. Like it's probably like right below 2016 Steph.
I get you, but still, like if this version of Luka doesn't get that love, then who should? Like, when will he do it? Like, I mean this is
if this year's Luka was in 2016, Steph would still be
like, I get it's not an objective take to put anyone over Shea this year. I get that. He'll win the MVP for sure. But I'm saying like when we okay, Shea out of the picture. When I say that, because I feel like to me the reason I'm looking at Luka like this is probably reverse voter fatigue. It's like when a player is like you've seen him for so long doing something and he never won anything for it, I think like you want him to win it even if he doesn't deserve it. You know, like if Kobe lost the MVP in 08 to CP3, I would have wanted him to win the 09 one, even with how LeBron was playing. That's just like sometimes you see a player lose too much while doing so good that you feel like this is reverse voter fatigue. I want him to win one, even if he doesn't deserve it.
So
that's how I view Luka.
So just to talk about this Jaylen Brown MVP case a little more, it's like It's this 30-point per game analytic people have. 30 point per game in high seed. This is the catch-all metric people are used instead of analytics, apparently. But I'm not saying on-off numbers is anything that is. They're like +6 with him on. That's a really good number, and they're +15 with him off. That's not to say they're better without him. That's to say like them being the second seed is also very much a function of them just winning the non-Jaylen Brown minutes by 15 points. Like that's a huge reason for why they're the second seed. If they were just Jaylen Brown minutes and then the I don't know Jokic off minutes or Luka off minutes, then they're not the second seed. Like the fact that they're not even only keeping it afloat, but they're blowing teams out when he's not on the floor. That's a big reason for why they're the second seed. That's not to say they're better without him. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying like them being the second seed is not because Jaylen Brown is carrying them. It's because they have amazing system. They have great role players around him. They have Peyton Pritchard and Derrick Rose, two really good other creators they can use. They have a really creative coach. They have really good defensive players as well around him. Like they're just a good team, even though the second best player isn't an all-star. Like, so what? So I don't know. That's my
I agree, but also I think that this is like one of those cases where sometimes the team is better with the player off because they play the next best 5 players when he's off. That's probably the reason.
Yeah, for sure. It's not.
It happens like it happens with many players that are like in good teams, but they're doing heavy lifting on one area of the court. Like in his case, scoring, because he's not playmaking. He's not as good a defender as he was the previous years. This year, and like he's carrying a specific thing, so he usually plays with. Like, of course, not starting the game, but like during the game, he plays sometimes with bad lineups to like make up for the lack of scoring when he's off. They put in like Pritchard. He doesn't. I think he doesn't share the floor that much with Pritchard. So like this is another reason. But I will say though, like speaking of players who are doing better this year than anticipated, that like to you, you said like Jaylen Brown was overrated before. And you still think
he's better this year than he's playing. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he's overrated. Yeah,
and I think my player in that sense would be Jamal Murray. I think he's become underrated due to how overrated he was the previous years.
Okay.
Like he's playing this year like they said he's been playing, but he hasn't been playing like this. He's never played like this. He's never been this player. He's got this contract because people think he plays like this, but he never played like this. This is his first year actually playing.
That's what really been the 23 playoffs is like the one. Not to say he's the same player as that, but like he was awesome in the 23 playoffs when they won the championship.
Yeah, but to be hot for a playoff run is common. To play to have a reputation like that and maintain it even after that run. And no one slanders you when you're not playing to that level. They're only slandering your like the other player on your team. You're missing games all the time, and you're missing like a third of the season almost every season. And usually in like important times, you've never made an all-star game, and now like how many players get a max contract without making a single all-star game? And no one actually thinks it's a weird thing, like because that's his reputation. He got a max contract without making an all-star game, and no one felt a way about it because in everyone's perception, he's that good. In my opinion, he's only become that good this year, and he never actually gets the flowers for it. For some reason, this is the year. Like in the end of the 2023 season, some people had him top 10. And I thought that was weird. This season, no one has him top 10. I think this is the closest he's been to being a top 10 player in the league. I don't know if he is, but this is the closest. He's having one of the greatest shooting seasons of all time. And no one is talking about it.
Right. What I will say You are right. People act like Jamal Murray has always been this level. He has not always been this level. He has shown flashes of it. He showed times of it.
Yeah,
A
when he
lot of
plays the
times,
Lakers.
yeah. When he plays the Lakers and when he played Donovan Mitchell in that one playoff series in the bubble, that's the best. That if that was Jamal Murray every day, we would have completely different conversations about him as a player. If that's how he was always playing, we would look at him differently. I fell in love with Jamal Murray as a player from that series he had with Donovan Mitchell, and I thought he was going to be an All-Star next year. And then,
He was awesome in the bubble. Oh my
yes, man, that's one of my favorite performances from a playoff player ever. To be honest,
They're like 50. They both had like 50 games like back to back. What's he going against?
Yeah.
They were awesome.
They were going 40 for 40, 50 for 50. You would have thought they were fake numbers they was putting up because it was like anything you could do, I could do better. That's how they were playing the whole time. That was an amazing series to watch. I don't care, bubble or not. That was just great hoops. I'll never get tired of watching that series specifically.
They averaged 31 in that series. Amazing.
That's crazy.
Mitchell averaged 36. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Donovan Mitchell actually for a while was one of the all-time leading scorers for points per game in the playoffs. I think he had like 2 bad seasons in a row.
And Murray had 50. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, wasn't Donovan Mitchell like until 2023? I think Donovan Mitchell was like top 10 all time in points per game in the playoffs, or something like that. Because he never had a bad series, and then he started having bad series suddenly.
I think he would have been like second or third probably because he was at 28.3. So
that was he was crazy in the playoffs for like ever since his rookie season all the way to like 2023 or something. That was it was crazy. Donovan Mitchell doesn't get like I think he's also one of those guys that have a weird PR, but that's like he at least he gets his flowers from some people at least.
Yeah. That's where it comes down
to. He is now like 7th. Currently, he's 7th all time in playoff points per game.
That's crazy.
Hey, Donovan Mitchell like that.
I mean, does he rank higher or does KD rank higher on that?
Oh, let me check. It goes Jordan, Doncic, Allen Iverson, KD at 4, Jerry West, LeBron, Donovan Mitchell.
That's elite company. Who's next?
Devin Booker.
Okay. Elite company.
Jokic, Rick Barry, Elgin Baylor, Giannis, and Edwards.
Shout out Rick Barry too. He's number 1 in the final. I think he's number 1 in the final.
He played that one series.
Yeah, but it was not a normal series.
Definitely not.
He's so good. Okay, do anyone have anything else they want to talk about? Anything?
Yeah, I mean, Intel should come up more often. That's for sure.
Go ahead, Intel.
I'm about to say I can come back up more often. I'm about to say I appreciate y'all for allowing me to even come on the platform, man.
Always. I think we'll actually call it then. Unless anyone have anything they want to get off their chest, I think we'll call it. We won't be back next Saturday, but we will this coming Saturday. But next Saturday we will be back on Amir's channel, and we'll probably do a career deep dive. Do you have anyone you want to talk about?
Kevin Durant. I think it's about time.
If
Intel wants to come, it's gonna be KD. Like let's just.
If you want to come, we can do KD. I want to do Kobe. I don't know.
Kobe, yeah, maybe. I mean, Kobe's another one, but KD is. I have a lot to say about KD. I think his career is not.
He has a funny career,
it's
man.
Not that impressive, but I mean,
actually, let's do Kobe and then we save KD and KD at least to. I think because this is gonna take time, so we end up doing him after the playoffs. Because then we have this season.
We can just wait and see. Like if Intel is going to be available, we can.
If you come around, we'll do KD. That's
whenever he's ready, we can do KD for sure.
Okay. I like the idea of waiting to see what he does on his Rockets team. I will tell y'all now, if they get out on a Thursday and y'all have this show on Saturday, I will be here. I will be ready to hate. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I think in the playoffs we'd be more so talking about the playoffs than doing career summaries, but we can do one for KD, that's for sure.
Well, I think I'm making this. We'll do Kobe next week because not next week,
Okay.
then week after that, because then I also have
Yeah,
time.
Are y'all
If we
are y'all
can
gonna
do-
always be choosing like controversial careers?
No,
we're
no,
doing every all-time great. Like every all-time great is gonna have an
Okay.
episode.
and then
Okay.
There are ones that are retired though. Like I don't know if I didn't plan to do KD this early because he's still playing, but mainly the ones who are either retired or at the tail end, like LeBron.
Mhm.
we won't do like
Uh,
Giannis and Jokic, obviously. because
Yeah,
they're-
yeah.
I don't know if I want to do them now, to be honest, but
No,
maybe.
Yeah, it's too early. It's too early.
But I think Kobe will be a good one actually. I
Yeah.
want to get a lot of positivity for Kobe off my chest. So let's do that.
Oh,
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for coming, MTEL. Thank you, Amir.
Thank
We'll
you.
see you in 2 weeks on Amir's channel. Link is in the description. Link for Bam's all of Bam fouls is also in the description. You're going to check it out in the video. And a link for all the unethicalness in the last couple of minutes if you want to check out that video. See ya.
All right.
All right.